who else is extreme that I liked at the beginning, but it just got too extreme too quick, and I gave up on him, was Carlos Mencia.
Dude, oh my God, Nick, do you know about Carlos Mencia and Joe Rogan?
I know nothing about them, no.
All right, we got to go into this. Can I, dude, Nick, if you got to leave, but if I take a piss, can we talk about this?
Let's do
Carlos
it.
Mencia, all right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Break. You know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know anything about Carlos Mencia other than listening to his shit for a little bit, because that's when actually George Lopez was getting big, and a lot of these Hispanic comedians like Fluffy, what's his name? I forget his name.
Iglesias?
Yeah, Enrique. No, not Enrique.
I forget.
Yeah, I forget too. But, and then Carlos Mencia came out. When he first came out, I liked his shit, but it got pretty intense pretty quick, and I kind of just fell off as a fan. But, yeah, I don't know anything about him and Joe Rogan. Spill it, Jay.
So Carlos Mencia, you mentioned George Lopez, and being from the Valley, you listen to a lot of George Lopez. He was the man.
Yeah, right.
And I fucking love George. He was probably my first like real comedian I got deep into, just because every party you went to he was on. And I remember we would sit in the garage of like Adrian Gutierrez, I think, and we'd go to Exeter, and Jesse Silva was there, Ant Marino, and we would just fucking put out some chairs. Colby was there, and we'd just fucking listen to George Lopez out loud on his lowrider truck speakers.
Nice.
And drink some beers and just fucking laugh.
Badass.
And I loved it. And most of it, like, I can't breathe. Remember that? Fucking great.
Yeah.
Talks about his parents leaving him when they're going somewhere. You better get in the car. They're leaving your ass. And I fucking love it. But anyways, George Lopez threw Carlos Mencia up against the wall, I believe, or was Bernie Mac. I don't know. I think it was George Lopez. So Carlos Mencia was on top of the world. We were probably like in high school or something.
Right.
And he had a TV show on some channel, and very funny guy. But Joe Rogan, who was lesser known at the time, which is hard to believe today, but is definitely true. The Comedy Store, which is the famous store in LA, which makes or break you, and Joe Rogan witnessed, and other people have witnessed, and Joe Rogan in the comedy circles have heard stories about Carlos Mencia stealing jokes. So Carlos Mencia...
How do you do that?
So he would invite openers on the road. And to an opener, that's huge. You're a broke comic. You're making no money. You're living in fucking cars. Who knows where you're living? And then Carlos Mencia has money, buys you some dinner. He bought Bobby Lee at his first car. He did some good things.
Okay.
Bobby Lee, he treated Bobby Lee very well, and helped Bobby Lee's career. And he would go take these young comics on the road, sit in the back with a notebook and write all the jokes down, and then fucking X out the opener and do the jokes.
Wow.
And Ari Shaffir, you know Ari Shaffir, right? Got in trouble for the Kobe Bryant shit. He, one of his jokes got stolen about building the wall. It was something like, I forget the joke, but it was like, because they talked about the wall way before Trump. We think of Trump, but it was way before him.
Oh, yeah.
We're building a wall. Who the fuck you think's going to build it? Mexicans, And so he kind of took a version of Ari Shaffir's joke and changed it. So anyways, he did this to George Lopez. He did this to a lot of fucking people.
Wow. I didn't know that.
It's pretty common. Like back in the 40s, 50s, comics were stealing from each other. And if you're on TV, it was yours,
Well, especially for these fuckers that are opening up, right? Because what are you going to say? They're going to believe you, or they're going to believe, someone
you got
big?
TV time, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
right.
You don't even got access to the public. And so Amy Schumer is one that comes to mind now. Amy Schumer is, she blames it on her writers. Maybe it's true. I don't know, but there's apparently some joke stealing there. But, and sometimes comics steal jokes on accident. You hear a bunch of shit, you fucking write a joke, or, it's kind of the same thing with music, I heard. Sure. You make a song and you don't realize this is in your brain already. But,
there's only so much shit you can actually write about, right?
Yeah, but there's always tons of shit. It's infinity.
Right.
But it's hard when you're influenced by comics. And I heard a lot of comics say they don't listen to other comics. But anyways, let's get to the story. But so he was at the Comedy Store performing, killing it.
Joe Rogan?
No, Carlos Mencia.
Okay.
Carlos Mencia was gold.
Okay, right.
Sell out every night at the Comedy Store. They loved him. Management loved him. So Joe Rogan, who was a lesser comic at the time, hard to believe, he's huge now, but he wasn't then. And he got on stage. I think he wore a college shirt. It was from the movie with Jim Belushi anyways, when they were in college. Anyways, it's just college. People were in college. He just I don't know. Joe Rogan was such a bum back then, like a savage. But he got on stage and he started yelling at Carlos Mencia, which is a big no-no.
And Carlos Mencia is in the crowd?
Carlos Mencia is on stage performing.
Oh, shit. He came while he was performing.
He came on, and the crowd's loving Carlos Mencia.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's dangerous for Joe Rogan as a lesser comic who's less popular. No one really might know him, might not. And he gets on stage because he believed morally it was fucking wrong. And Ari Shaffir's his friend, and all these other guys he's heard for years and years and watched this guy get famous and make money. So he got on stage and called this fool out. And he like yelled at him, and at first the crowd's like, "Fuck Joe," you know, they're like working with Carlos Mencia because they already won him over. Well, someone that worked there handed Joe Rogan a mic. He's like, "Give me a fucking mic," and then he gets a mic, and then Joe Rogan turns. And this is the power of Joe Rogan.
Can you watch this?
You want to watch it?
No, well, yeah, well, fuck it. Let's watch it.
You want to watch it?
Well, I don't know. Are we gonna have to get out of that program?
Nope. I think we should. You got to see this.
I know you saying that you're acting like a little bitch. Yes. They're not agreeing with you. They don't even know what the fuck I do. They don't even know what the fuck I do. They don't know shit. You just talk shit. It's easy to say you steal shit. I could say you steal shit, but I don't, because I'm not a little bitch. No, let me tell you what I think. I think that every time you open your mouth, you talk about me, I think that you're secretly in love with me because you can't shut the fuck about me. That's what I personally fucking think. You always open your fucking mouth about me. You always say what the fuck you want about me. I'll tell you what George Lopez did since you want to hear it. White people! George Lopez actually said on Howard Stern that he doesn't want any other Hispanic comedian to make it except for him.
Yeah, maybe he said that
shit comes from.
That's a funny thing to say. That's what a comic would say.
No, he says that because he's like everybody else. They're jealous because
you fat fuck.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm jealous of anybody. It's not gonna be a guy who steals material. I am inspired by other comics.
So Joe Rogan did this at a pivotal point. He was on some TV show back then, Fear Factor, so he's making some bank.
Okay.
But he was doing UFC for free, I think, and UFC wasn't making much money back then. And he wanted to be a comic. Since 22, he's wanted to be a comic. And but he has a martial arts background, so I think that's why he never was scared. But he was banned from the Comedy Store after this.
Really?
And he didn't go back for like 10 plus years.
Oh shit.
I know he was banned for a long time, and then he got big. He started the podcast. You know, no one's listening to the podcast. He fucking went on his own, and that's why he's someone to fucking listen to, because he knows what it's like to lose everything. And he Ari Shaffir was the door guy at the Comedy Store, and that's how young comics started. They become the door guy, check IDs, host or whatever, and hope to get on stage.
Right.
And Ari Shaffir finally got big enough where he got like a special or a main set, and Joe Rogan said, "Okay, I gotta let this shit go to go support him at the Comedy Store." So he went to the Comedy Store, but Carlos Mencia has never survived this. Once this got big, Carlos Mencia has done small shows. I saw he was in Visalia like a year ago. He's Fox Theater. He's doing small shows when he used to sell out. And he was on a podcast recently, and he still kind of defends it, which sucks because people are forgiving. And if he would come out and be like, "I stole jokes. I'm sorry. I'm a changed man."
Right.
People would love to see him. I would go watch him if he admitted that, because people will let you. If you apologize and show humility, people are generally, even on the internet, they tend to be pretty cool.
Right.
But he's still, it's 10 plus 13 years, like fucking still.
Has Joe Rogan talked about this?
Joe Rogan used to talk about it a lot in the podcast, and he's like, "I can't talk about this anymore. This is just like consuming me." But a year or two ago, actually someone asked him about it, and it's the first time we talked about it in years, and he said, "I wish him the best. I wish him greatness." And for me as a fan, I would love to see Carlos Mencia become humbled and apologize, let it go.
Right.
He's still hanging on to, "No, I was great. You were great, but you were stealing." And to see him come on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Oh, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast?
No, but I want that. I dream of the day. And I don't know if Joe Rogan would ever allow it just because of the negativity, but and also he's never really came out and apologized and admitted. I mean, you got George Lopez, you have tons, you have a stack full of people. That Bobby Lee, who he helped, was nervous to talk about it because he was going to lose money.
Right.
And Bobby Lee's pretty honest about it today, because Bobby Lee's got his own income.